Hello, my name is Rosa Enriquez Esteve, and today I will be talking about pseudo-evaluations. To begin, let's talk about what an evaluation is. Guerra Lopez defines evaluations as something that can provide a systematic framework that aligns stakeholders, evaluation purposes, desired results and consequences, and all evaluation activities so that the evaluation product is a responsive and clear recipe for improving performance. Evaluators have many approaches and models available to choose from. However, they must be familiar with the model and see if it fits their need. Evaluators must focus on models that are worthy and continue developing them. There exist trustworthy evaluation models to choose from, such as Kirkpatrick's 4 levels of evaluation, objective-based evaluation, and goal-free evaluation model. One must keep in mind that there is no best model, since it depends on the situation at hand. There is also the possibility of combining models and approaches that best fits the organization and the situation. However, there are approaches that reflect political realities and are used improperly to misinterpret a program's value. These are called pseudo-evaluations. Daniel Stubblebeam defines pseudo-evaluations as a questionable practice in which evaluators fail to produce and report valid assessments. This happens when evaluators and stakeholders falsify findings and/or provide limited information or worth to all parties involved. Pseudo-evaluations are usually influenced by political objectives. This often happens when individuals in power or seeking power might want to disguise their negligence, misconduct, or harmful information. Individuals involved in this questionable practice might also do it to present claims about their accomplishments for personal advantage. By supporting pseudo-evaluations, evaluators promote injustice, discredit the evaluation profession, and mislead decision-making. Evaluators and stakeholders of an organization are sometimes enticed to hide, release exclusive information, or even falsify findings. While their work and findings might look like accurate evaluations, they're considered pseudo-evaluations since they fail to produce and report valid assessments to all involved audiences. There are two pseudo-evaluation approaches: politically controlled studies and public relations inspired studies. Politically controlled studies happens when a client is forced to know the results and then, based on their advantage, decide if the findings are released to the right-to-know audiences. In politically controlled studies, a client will make a threat as their objective to meet a political contest. This is seen more when a client or evaluator is seeking to secure or increase power, influence, and money. The findings to the evaluation would not be released to all stakeholders involved. Typical methods of politically controlled studies include, but are not limited to, private investigations, private polls, private information files, and selective release of findings. If clients or evaluators violate formal agreements based on applicable law, the parties involved may proceed to seek legal action. What can evaluators do? Evaluators should not mention their names and credentials when these evaluations are presented. The other approach, public relations inspired studies, is also known as ideological marketing. This approach does not seek truth, but acquires and broadcasts information that provides favorable but often false impression of a program. It also presents the program's strengths or exaggerated views of them, but not the weaknesses. Usually, negative findings are not released. These type of evaluations can cause misleading and stakeholders' concern about a program's true value and issues. Typical methods used in public relations inspired studies include biased surveys, inappropriate use of norm tables, biased selection of testimonials, selective release of positive findings, cover-up of incidents, and expert advocate consultants. Evaluators can help their clients to have meta-evaluators, which can help ensure quality, integrity, and honesty in an evaluation. Stubblebeam and Shinkfield define meta-evaluation as a professional evaluation of evaluators. In a nutshell, there are two approaches to pseudo-evaluations as shown in this conceptual framework: politically controlled, and public relations. Politically controlled studies are usually done by threats, in which the purpose consists of getting, keeping, or increasing influence, power, or money. One of its key strengths is that it secures evidence that is advantageous to the client in conflict. However, its limitation is that it violates the principle of a trustworthy and accurate disclosure. The other approach, called public relations, is usually done as propaganda with the purpose of creating a positive public image. One of the key strengths of this approach is that it secures evidence that will most likely bolster public support. However, its limitation is that it violates the principles of balanced reporting, justified conclusions, and objectivity. Let's take a look at how the model has been previously used. In the United States, the Joint Chiefs of Staff and Service Departments published a document called Lessons Learned, which aimed to influence the coming budget reductions and debates over each service's roles and missions. The study's purpose was to aid a program's leaders or public relations personnel project a positive and convincing public image for the program. However, this document misstated the facts, with the goal of recovering a weapon system and military doctrine whose worth could not be otherwise supported. These documents were not transparent and honest appraisals. Summary literature review. In his book titled Policy Analysis for Social Workers, Caputo explains that there are facts that can affect an evaluation among target groups and beneficiaries, such as strikes, natural disasters, sudden staff turnover, which should be noted at one point in time and not years later in the evaluation. Stuffelbeam recommends evaluators to not give out name or credentials when a questionable approach is put in place by a stakeholder in an evaluation. However, Stuffelbeam mentions that it is legitimate for evaluators to give private feedback to clients. This is when they are conforming to laws and policies and the findings are released and honored. Guerra Lopez urges evaluators to ensure commitment and get the ownership of the evaluation and performance. Trust and agreement are key to a successful evaluation that seeks continuous improvement. She says, evaluators and stakeholders must define the required contributions each will make so that they can create a solid partnership for success. In conclusion, evaluations need a trustworthy agreement between the evaluator and stakeholders so that an organization or program can seek continuous improvement. Two pseudo-evaluation approaches are politically controlled and public relation approaches. Politically controlled approach is when information is withheld to involved stakeholders and its purpose is to get, keep, or increase influence, money, or power. Examples include private investigations and private polls. The public relation approach can cause misleading impression of a program and its purpose is to create a positive public image. Examples include biased surveys, cover-up of incidents, and expert consultants that benefit the party. Researchers suggest the use of meta-evaluations, evaluation of an evaluation, and encourages evaluators to create a commitment with stakeholders for a reliable and trustworthy evaluative feedback. I would like to thank you for your time in viewing the presentation. I hope it was informative and you have gained useful knowledge about pseudo-evaluations. Thank you. These are my list of references.